This time I'd like to call to order the May 26, 2026 Jackson County Commission meetings, and I thank everyone for being here. Before I start tonight, I would like to introduce our new county administrator. That's here in Scottsboro. She has a broad experience in budgeting and managing of departments, and we certainly appreciate her willingness to join us and take on this very important responsibility. Recent jobs that she's had, she worked for ECS Federal, which is a large contracting organization that supports NASA Marshall Space Flight Center. And she was very much involved in the NASA's SLS program and recently carried our astronauts around the moon back safely. She is very much involved there with contract budget analysis and working and collaborating with the various NASA departments in getting that job done. Before that, she worked with program management job with the Hershey Company, and in that she was involved in program management and expense tracking for the company, and also the execution and management and full financial support for the company. And so, Margaret, we want to again say thank you for joining us and taking on this job for us as Jackson County Administrator. So with that, I'm going to ask Ms. Turner, our county administrator, if you would please call the roll to establish the
Commissioner Gully,
present.
Commissioner Kennemark, Commissioner Buckner,
Present.
Commissioner McBride.
Present. We do have a quorum, so at this time, if everyone would please stand, I would like to ask Mr. Fuller County Attorney to offer our invitation and Commissioner Buckner to lead our prayer for you.
Let's pray. God, our Father in heaven, we are truly blessed to live in this country where we can have elections without fear of reprisal, and everyone gets to cast their vote without fear of intimidation. So God, we're thankful for that, thankful for this freedom among many other freedoms that we enjoy in this country. But we also pray, God, for safety for men and women in the armed services who are in harm's way right now in conflicts around the world. We pray that you'll be with them and keep them safe, help them do their job the best way they can. Pray they'll be with their families and keep them safe and give them comfort while they're gone. Watch over all of us, God. Guide us and direct us every day. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't think we have any public comments tonight, so we will move directly into the business portion of our meeting. We do have several items to deal with tonight. Most of those have to do with assigning responsibilities to the new county administrator. And then a couple of other items there. We have in our work session, we do have three topics of discussion for there. First item that we have is the minutes from the April 28, 26 meeting and work session. That is in the packet. I'll give you a moment to take a look at those. So do I have a motion to adopt the minutes for the April 28, 26 meeting and work session?
Mr. Nance, I would like to make a correction here on minutes of District 4. That's Kevin McBride, not Kevin Buckner. Although we may be related somewhere down there. Comments from
Right. Comment?
Yeah.
Okay. With that, we will make that adjustment to the minutes. And so let me say with With the requested adjustments, do I have a motion to adopt the minutes for the April 20th, 26th meeting work session?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second.
Second.
We have a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Next item is, one of the responsibilities is signatures for warranting checks that we issued from the commission. And so there is a motion here to approve signatures for warrants of checks issued by the county effective May 27, 26 to remove Michelle Lee and add Margaret Turner as county administrator. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion, to have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. One of the other responsibilities is to manage our Open Records Act responsibilities. And there's a resolution that we have that addresses that. And the resolution, it states, whereas it is policy of Jackson County Commission to comply with the Alabama Open Record Act as amended by Alabama Act number 2024 G78 effective October 1st, 2024. To allow Alabama residents to inspect and take a copy of public records within the custody and control of the commission, subject to the payment of legal fees going to appropriate protections for private, confidential, privilege, and other public information. At the bottom of the resolution, it says, now therefore be it resolved by this resolution that the Jackson County Commission hereby designates Margaret Turner, County Administrator, to serve as the public officer of Jackson County, to carry out the directives of the Open Records Act. Do I have a motion to approve and sign the resolution designating Margaret Turner, County Administrator, to carry out the directives of the Open Records Act as amended by Alabama Act number 2024 G78?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion and a second.
That's it.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next is to approve a resolution adopting the procedures of the public record. And so that resolution reads, whereas it is the policy of Jackson County Commission to comply with the Alabama Open Records Act as amended by Alabama Act number 2024 T78 effective October 1st, 2024, and whereas the Open Records Act as amended sets forth the general framework for responding to requests by Alabama residents to inspect and take a copy of the public record. Now therefore be it resolved by the resolution that effective April 14, 2026, the Jackson County Commission adopts the procedures for accepting public records requests as set forth in the attachment to this resolution, the provisions of which are incorporated by reference herein. This is adopted this 26th day of May, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve and sign the resolution adopting procedures for accepting the public records request?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second.
Second.
We have a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. In the previous work session, we had discussion of lawn care and care of our trees and the Jackson County Courthouse and our county buildings to the county area. So let me turn this over to Mr. Director Gann.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners. On the last meeting, we talked about this. I was, in the meantime, able to get another quote, and this was from a local company, Clark Turf Care. They don't do the contract like year-long services. They do it as requested. Price for this quote on this is $940. This is for one tree for both locations. The True Green, it's for 7 treatments. The quote for True Green is for 7 treatments for both buildings. And it is $2,033.50. I did talk to some other locals. A lot of them, they're too busy right now to take on something this big. But their prices I would say they're probably gonna be similar, just because True Green is a bigger company and they can order the chemicals that they use for a much cheaper price in bulk than what the local company can do. My recommendation would be to go with True Green if y'all do decide to do this.
So the difference in price is roughly $5,000.
Sorry.
The difference in price for Southern treatments would be roughly $5,000.
No, this is $2,000.
This is one treatment, right?
That's one treatment. Yes, yes,
$940.
yes,
Southern treatments time, that's just short of
yes,
$7,000.
yes, sir.
This is $2,000,
Yes, sir.
about $5,000 difference.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your recommendation, you said was.
Would be to go with True.
So let me open up the question.
I want to thank you for trying to get the local business. Appreciate that. And I do ask that we start the process earlier. So hopefully some local folks will be able to incorporate that into their business in the future.
Yes, sir.
Any other comment, questions? Do I have a motion to approve the loan treatment link with True Green for the courthouse, Jackson County Courthouse, and the Jackson County Courthouse? And
The rate of $2,033.50
Yeah.
for 7 treatments.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Motion carries. So let me count this motion to accommodate the pricing. Next was, we also talked about free service, really the free risk assessment and doing a free inventory. Public, any comments there?
Just on that, I did call, a lot of the other state certified arborists that we have in the state. They don't offer this exact service, where we'd be getting the inventory assessment and do all that, and then allow us to use locals to cut that stuff. If they come out and do all this, they want to cut the trees as well. This company, would allow us to just get this service right here, the tree risk assessment with the tree inventory, with all recommendations, pictures, and put all this on a database for us to access forever. And then we could use those pictures and recommendations and that database in order to use locals, to the local contractors to do the tree cutting and all that stuff for us. So.
Any comments, questions? Just a note for this is we have experienced, and I think I said this before, we have experienced some issues with our own trees, not that they're very mature now, but there are some cases where limbs, some very large limbs die. And we've had cases of some of those limbs falling on vehicles that are parked around the courthouse. And that's one of the reasons we take a look, if we need to do some maintenance on those trees to prevent that, I think it would be very helpful to us. So, this price is $4,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with that, do I have a motion to approve three assessment services from Ivan Arbor for the price of $4,000 for the Jackson County Courthouse? And
I'll make a motion.
we have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any further questions, discussion?
I will say, when I was getting into my vehicle to come here today, a big limb fell out of my tree and landed right beside the trailer, and that the impact force, has that hit someone? Very dangerous. So we gotta stay on top of that.
Okay. No further questions, discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Next item is the Council of Aging, and it is regarding the rural benefit program application. So let me turn it over to Director Coleman for the comment.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. I think you may have this letter in your packet. This is our annual 5311 rural public transportation grant that we have applied for the past 20-something years. And this year, we're asking for $182,438 federal operation assistance, $202,780 in federal administration assistance, and $12,400 in federal capital assistance. So the local assistance, local match will be $261,733. But you subtract 25,000 that we're estimating for fair revenue and 27,000 for contract revenue, and it's $209,000 will be the local match, which is about an $8,000 increase from last year. But we always build in, we don't know what the health insurance is going to be, workman's comp, we won't find that out until the end of the year. So we build in a little extra there just to be safe there. The next two sheets, it just kind of breaks down the operation and administration capital. Shows we get 50% reimbursement on operation expenses and 80% reimbursement on administrative and capital assistance. So if you have any questions, I will entertain those.
The effective date for this would be
October 1 of this year.
okay. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the sign of the annual outline section 5311 public benefit grant application resolution for the council of action?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any further questions, discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. The next item on the agenda is to fill an unexpired term. This term, the unexpired term, does expire April the 30th, 2030. So we have nearly a 4-year term, a portion of the term remaining. We have 4 applicants: Mr. Michael Proctor, Ms. Christy Bell, Ms. Benny Alexander, and Mr. Josh Fraley. In your packet, you have information that they have sent us regarding their request and information regarding their background. Mr. Parker sends a note, an email note, expressing his interest in filling the unexpired term on the DHR board, and having been involved in the organization that has done fundraising for fostering the Adoptive Parents Association, as well as DHR itself, plus helping out with Christmas charities and help out the family. He feels that he would really like to take on this opportunity to work with the organization to help the children of Jackson County. The next application is Ms. Christy Bell. She states that I'm expressing my interest in serving the Jackson County Department of Human Resources Board, bring 18 years of nursing experience, including extensive work in home health, serving medically complex and vulnerable populations. My background includes care coordination, parent, patient and family education, and identifying barriers to care such as limited resources, safety concerns, and lack of support systems. This experience will give me a practical understanding of the needs of individuals and families that serve the HR. Jennifer Alexander sends a resume with her experience. She has worked from 2023 to present with the law office of David Lee Jones as title abstractor and front desk receptionist. From 2017 to 2022, worked with Stuart Title as a order entry production manager. And from 2014 to 2017, with Kevin White Group, Keller Williams Realty as a transaction coordinator. And she has had other experiences working, one with Stepping Stone School as early childhood educator. Next, Mr. Josh Pollitt sends a letter of request, stating his interest in serving comes from both his professional background and his personal life experiences. Growing up, I saw firsthand the struggles that many families face. I understand what it feels like to experience uncertainty and difficult situations at a young age. And over the years, I've tried to give back to the community through coaching youth sports, mentoring young people, supporting local programs, and helping create a positive family-oriented environment. Professionally, I've spent many years working in the aerospace and defense industry in leadership and team-oriented environments that require accountability, communication, and problem solving. He does attach a resume there and express salient skills, 14 years total aerospace DoD mechanical assembly experience, 8 years of leadership experience, software experience in community involvement. He states he has 13 years elementary sports and coaching volunteers, Skyline recreational basketball community leader, a youth bowling league leader, previous Cumberland Mountain Park board member, previous Paint Rock Valley Community Advisory Board member, and director of softball tournaments, raising money for ALS and cancer patients. With that, do I have a motion to nominate and appoint one member for unexpired vacancy on the DHR board?
Nominate Joshua Fralick.
Okay, we have a nomination of Josh Fralick. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second with that. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Goley,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennemer, Commissioner Buckner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBride,
Yes.
So with that, we will appoint Mr. Fralick to fill the unexpired term on the DHR board. Thank you very much. Last item of new business is the elections that were held last week. We did have several positions at state as well as local that require runoff. And the runoff is scheduled for June 16th. And so we again will have to go through the process of being prepared for the runoff for the election. We will have to test all of our voting machines, and there will be also an expense that we will have to identify and recognize. This meeting, we need to approve for Mr. Mike Ashton to again inspect our voting machine. He does that, he's done that for many years for us, and so we have requested a quote from him. This is quote the same as the quote for the original vote last week. And this quote is for loading the ballot information into the DS200 voting machines and into the express vote ballot marker and testing each machine for every voting precinct in Jackson County. Also, he will be available from 6 o'clock in the morning vote day until 7 o'clock to assist in any issues that may occur. The total charges is $2,650. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the vote from Mr. Mike Ashton for voting machine custodian for the June 16, 2026 runoff election?
That motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. That's the last item in the new business portion of our meeting. At this point, we will move into the work session. We do have a discussion, solid waste. And the topic is repairs and maintenance motor vehicle budget. In your package, you do have a sheet of the expenditure, status as of the end of April 2026 for solid waste. This particular issue has to do with the budget for repair and maintenance of motor vehicles. Director Skipper?
Chairman Nance, Commissioners, thank you for letting me speak tonight. It's been a while. Had a few packets for y'all. So this is just an inventory, so y'all know what all the trucks we have, solid waste. With our garbage trucks and our delivery trucks, it's not our pickup trucks. As the chairman's noted, we look at our budget like daily, and we got the notice saying with 4 months left, we're already over budget on the vehicle maintenance. So just wanted to bring it to his attention. So I reached out to him, and then he asked me to bring it for y'all to the commission meeting. So with vehicle maintenance, that's something that you just don't know. It could be $100 part, it could be a $20,000 part with a transmission. And so got 4 months left of the year. Don't know what tomorrow holds. So I just wanted to bring it to y'all's attention that we are over budget. We don't know the outcome of the rest of this. Just I guess seeking guidance and what y'all would like to do.
So your budget amount for this year was $160,000. At this point,
We're a little over as of 5/20. We were at $166,299.25.
66.
$299.25. That was as of 20.
For me, my question is, what is driving this maintenance? We have bought a number of new trucks, and a number of your trucks are 23, 24, 25, 26 trucks. I recognize we do have some older trucks from 2018, 2019. Freight one from 2007. So what is the principal driver?
That's a great question. So here's the list of the same trucks. And again, we didn't start tracking this until 2024. This is the expenditure of each truck, what we spent in 2024, 2025, and now 2026. So you can see, make sure I got this one. Didn't make no copies. So you can see here in the trucks. The one thing to note is just like buying a vehicle, it'll say a 2026 model, but really it was probably made in 2025. So some of these trucks, you look at them and they'll say, for instance, those 2019 Max, they were made in like August of 2018. So these two trucks here, they're 7 years old. Truck 12 and truck 11, they're considered floater trucks, what we call. One truck 12 gets drove one day a week. It does our Pisgah city route. And then truck 11 is, again, another floater. If we have to keep the truck in for service, we use those. So you can see in 2026 alone, just two trucks, we have spent, over $80,000 on these trucks. And these are two older trucks that we need to get going. So right now, yes, I appreciate it. Y'all approved us to buy a 2026 Freightliner. It's doing great. Y'all approved us to buy a 2025 International. It's doing great. But with those trucks right now, we're on course of a 12-year rotation. We buy one truck a year. So these trucks, by the time they're at the end of their life, we still have them for a few more years. So these trucks, if we buy one truck a year, you're at least a 12-year rotation. These trucks, and that's the route that we're going right now.
I've got a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
The county administrator that brought me in the office a few weeks ago, asked me to overview some of the invoices from the dealership that worked on the trucks and looking at that. So I guess my question is, what maintenance programs do you have in-house? Because from what I saw, there were a lot of transmission troubles and driveline issues. And as far as your mechanical staff, in-house mechanical staff, what type of work do they do on the trucks versus when you send it off to the dealership? I guess would be my first question. What are they available to do? And because when I looked at, I saw some stuff that I felt like they should be able to do in-house where it went off. But then I saw some other things. There was a lot of transmission issues. And reading the notes on that, some of it stemmed from running low transmission fluid and things like that. So what maintenance programs do you have in place to prevent those type of things from happening?
So, we have our DOT pre-trip inspection. So that starts off day, first the day, start of the day. Every employee does that. They check the truck, make sure, it's got all the right fluids in it. The tires are aired up right. The truck's running properly. As the day goes on, there could be leaks, certain things to happen. But they have to report that and fix it. In-house fixing, my mechanics does a great job. They fix, ultimately, I let them look at it first and they try to fix it before we send it to somebody else. You will see a few things like with the transmission, we send it to Nextran to get fixed. And they fix the transmission. And while they're there, they're saying, hey, while we're looking at it, your check engine light was on. We've got A, B, C, and D that needs to be fixed. I'll ask them to send me a quote to fix it. They'll send me a quote. I'll review it with my maintenance supervisor, and he'll tell me, that's what we can do. This is what we can do. We can't do that. I'll have them go and fix it while they're in house. And so while it's already there, when you got to send it back, we let them go ahead and fix it. Two things I will say since you're reviewing that, and I don't know if you have it in front of you, expenditure. Two things I will add is the camera system, Ingram. So we've got cameras on all of our trucks now. So a little over $20,000 to this was for that camera system. So 2 of the trucks was installed during this budget.
So that skews the numbers and makes it look like the maintenance is higher because of the camera installation.
Yeah,
What you're saying on the budget.
Yes, sir. On the budget, you can say 20,000 of that would not be.
Didn't we amend the budget for that at previous meetings? Correct on that? It's
We approved the camera system.
approved.
We approved it. It was never amended. Yes, sir.
Two 2007 Freightliner, what do y'all use it for?
So that truck is the truck that we use for community cleanups. It's a rear loader. It's the only truck we have that's a rear loader. But that's what does our community cleanups. If that goes down, then we don't have a truck.
So that thing's the oldest truck on the list and you spent $64 on it. That's pretty cool.
Well, again, we didn't start tracking through 2024 budget year.
But that truck's not used that much. And that's a backup loader truck.
Yeah, that
So
truck
it's really
is,
not,
yeah.
it's not getting you much expense. So what you're saying is what are your problem trucks here?
I mean, you kind of can look and see, the older the truck gets, the more we.
I think that's when I looked at those transmission issues. Is that right?
Yes, sir. So 2020 Mac has a new transmission. The 2019s both have had transmissions replaced. One of them had an engine replaced. Let's see.
2019 had engine replaced?
Yes, sir.
No, that garbage trucks are, it's hard on trucks.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But I'm just gonna say, I run a business and I run these trucks and I don't have to replace transmissions and engines in my trucks and this amount of mileage. Of course, Public Works gets rid of their trucks and they don't have it. But a garbage truck is twice the hardship on that truck or more than a normal truck. Right?
Absolutely.
I was constantly stopping and going. It's very hard on a truck. So that's why it's key to stay on top of maintenance with those.
Yes, sir.
So on the expenditure sheet we have at the end of April, we were at $128,000, $20,000. You thought, you've got that sheet, but it was in April. The sheet that we looked at in last 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
So 20,000 off that means you're at 108,000 of maintenance costs, right?
So right now we're at, it'll be about 146,000 where we're at right now.
Okay. Your number is as of 5/20.
Yes, sir. My number
We've got
is
another month. in
as
there.
of 5/20, yes.
So that's,
So we've got about 14,000, if you're looking at that.
okay.
Uh,
Well, the question is, going to have to deal with some maintenance issues coming up. We're going to have to adjust this budget line item for some funds. If I look at your revenue account, you are doing pretty well on revenues right now.
yes, sir.
What would you estimate that you would need to get you to the end of the year?
That's a loaded question right there. I hope none, but,
Barring a major catastrophe like.
yeah, so for example, this hasn't, I don't think, come up yet. We had a cylinder go bad, so that's $7,000 to replace that cylinder inside the garbage truck. So that's another expense that will be coming for us, once that comes in. Check, but I'm pretty sure that hasn't been submitted yet. We haven't received it. No, we haven't.
Of those type of things like that on your cylinders, do you pull them out and look at having them rebuilt, or you just order it from the manufacturer?
So this is one of the newer trucks. So once we get a new one, we pull the old one out, we'll get it rebuilt and keep that as a spare. So that'll get us closer to 7,000, with that other 7,000 repaired. We could bust that tomorrow.
And you got, so this gets to May, so you got.
We got
in
4
July,
months.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it too much, but we can always come back, or I can come back and ask again.
I'll guess at a number and then argue about it.
Okay.
You're spending about 20K a month. Some of that has been higher cost maintenance. That would put you at 80,000, but what about 50,000 right now to adjust the budget to get there?
Yes, sir. I hope we don't touch that.
Chris, let me ask you what you think would be a reasonable number of normal maintenance coming back to.
Well, he's gonna have normal maintenance, and it's expensive to maintain these trucks, so, I think 50K should be ample, barring he doesn't have major catastrophes. Your tires and things is all gonna be allocated in that 50.
That's separate. Tires are separate. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's just general maintenance.
Yes.
Okay,
I would think, yeah.
go ahead, please.
So just a couple of things. On the parts that we recycle, not recycle, rebuild,
Yes, ma'am.
do we have an inventory of what those are so that we know what we have to be able to swap out?
I would say yes, but probably not to your standards.
Definitely think that's something we need to work on.
Yeah, we had a company come in, Lean Frog, and they come in and did some studies, and they did recommend that getting a system set up for inventory and stuff, not just pen and paper and.
I would think we could build something fairly simple and in a simple Excel spreadsheet, as long as we have, we know that these parts come back from being repaired. So when they come in, it's a simple tally it on the spreadsheet and move on. I don't think we need to have a complicated system to maintain that.
Okay. That's a good idea. That keeps a logical track of where you're going.
Absolutely.
But let's skip back real quick to at least adjusting the budget so you can perform maintenance on the truck. You got any question with the idea of at least?
No, I
approaching
think
50?
it's gonna take at least 50 to get through the end of the year. And I'm not sure that it won't exceed if we have something.
Okay, and we could come back to that if we have to. Okay, does this need to be a budget amendment? Okay, so we're gonna take it out of the revenue, his revenue account. We'll move it to the expense account. We need to deal with this, or can we wait till next week? You're already beyond your. No, you got about 14,000, right? So what you said.
Yeah, about 7 now with that other.
So, but you're not gonna really pay for this stuff because you're on account for stuff until after the first of the month. So
Correct, yeah, it can be moved.
I would much prefer to not set aside the rules.
Okay, me too.
Yes.
And so, we'll put this on new business next, to make a budget amendment for $50,000 to increase it, but it's, okay, Kevin, anything else?
That's it, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So do you have a plan moving forward on, with the expenses, which most of these trucks, now that you've had major expenses on, do you feel like they're good and capable to carry you throughout, or are you looking for a plan in place to try to update these in the future? What, just kind of briefly overview your plan, kind of, so we won't have this type of problem next budget.
Yeah, I think the biggest plan is getting these older trucks out, getting newer trucks in and keeping warranty. Most of these trucks come with a 3-year warranty on it. And so at the rate that we're going backwards, with these older trucks. Even if we just replace one this year, we still got a 7-year-old truck that we're still running and operating. And then also funding, we don't have the money now to buy 2 trucks a year. And if we bought 2 trucks a year, then that's a 6-year-old truck, at the end of the day. And so ultimately the plan would be, we need to reevaluate our residential service and look at what we're charging and look at other areas and look at bringing in more revenue so we can start getting back to purchasing more trucks and not keeping these older trucks and putting this type of money into trucks that we're not getting anything out of. The last truck we sold, we brought $21,000 out of it. People aren't wanting these old beat up used trucks that, had a transmission replace, engine replace, all this work. So I think that's what our ultimate goal is going to be. Plan is to reevaluate it and get some more revenue coming in.
Let me ask you, given that discussion, I'd like to see you bring us a fleet management approach here.
Okay.
Look at what would be the most cost effective period to turn over a truck and sell it and replace with a new truck.
Okay.
We've had good success with the larger vehicles, and it probably works. But you know better than me, but maybe.
You will not have that success in garbage trucks.
I'm sorry?
You will not have that type of success in garbage trucks,
Yeah.
but you just don't have the audience out there to capture those. You have
Okay.
contractors that want to buy the dump trucks. You have the other municipalities and counties that buy garbage trucks and they want to buy new ones. It's like, he likes to buy new ones.
Yeah, and I can answer that too. I think City of Scottsboro is a great fleet program. And I think they'd be willing for us to go sit down and show them that, they rotate their garbage truck out in 2 years. They actually sell their trucks back to the company that they buy them from. So they're actually getting a trading value. So up front, when they buy this truck, they say, okay, we're going to give you $350,000 for it. You're going to drive it 2 years and we're going to give you $300,000 back. So yeah, you're losing, but you're keeping a brand new truck. Everything's warranty. If anything happens to that truck, it's not coming out of your pocket. So, it's just something to look at. I'm not saying we can do it, but I think it'd be something we can sit down and look at. If you want.
At least I think bring an approach to us.
Yeah, and then also, I think, depending on how long you're going to keep trucks, like one thing I do in my fleet management plan on my thing is I buy extended warranties from Allison and from Cummins. So you can get that truck covered for, like my trucks are usually, I normally buy 3 to 5 year, $500,000 warranties on them. So that's a minimal expense up front, and you're going to pay, like for, I don't know, government rate, but like for me, I'll pay, let's say, $8,000 for that warranty, and You know, if you're having trouble with a 2019 model and you replace it in, and you got that 5-year warranty, you're gonna be, you know, that's gonna cover that for 5 years or 500,000, because you're not putting that kind of miles on a truck.
Right.
So looking at extended warranties are on the front side as you buy this truck is a minimal investment to protect your machine long term.
Absolutely.
I also wanted to mention that when you're talking about warranties, if we're putting a new engine in a vehicle or in a truck, there should be some type of warranty for that.
Yeah,
I mean,
usually when we get them replaced, it's about a 1-year warranty.
Okay. So we'll do new business on the budget. We'd like to look at, bringing this in the
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the work session, public works, we have 3 topics, county road research, county road 93 research, that has been going on for a while, and so I don't think you'll give us the rundown on that.
Chairman, I'll start with a document that looks like it's a map. It's, I have a couple maps tonight, but this one's the one with all the dots. So, the work on County Road 93, as we've updated in the past, the repair work, specialized repair work ended. The county took over all the remaining items, which included cross drain replacements, ditch, brush and tree removal, base failure repair. And so that work, accompanied with the repair work, has left very little through that section of roadway that hasn't been disturbed. And to illustrate it hopefully better, is the map that you have in front of you. Just to orient you, you are facing north, and the top of the mountain is south, which would be the bottom of the page. There's a blue dot that says top of the mountain at the very bottom of the page, and I'll start there and work the way everything's numbered. So you'll notice the red dots indicate cross drains, and these are cross drains that were identified as failed and had to be replaced. So they had to be replaced. Now, the roadway was excavated, the pipe removed, new roadway pipe, new fill material. So there's a scar there that exists present day. At every one of those red dots, the yellow marks indicate failed area. So some of those cross drains were part of that scope of work and done by contract forces. The other was county forces, but regardless, it has been disturbed everywhere you see a red dot. The green dots indicate base failure repairs. So unlike a trench being, excavated in the roadway, it could potentially be a larger area. In most cases, most of all those cases, it is a larger area than just a trench. So you'll notice in only a very small section of pavement that there's essentially any length to, and it is poor condition pavement. So, a quick ride if you're in that area or would like to look, I think would probably make all this visually better for the windshield, even just seeing, and I believe it will affirm what I represent to you on this map. The next page is an option that, and would be our recommendation before we open this roadway, to do resurface this. And this resurfacing estimate that you have on the next page is essentially from the top of the mountain to the bottom, to include 2.1 miles. And our estimate is conservative meaning probably more than what we expect final cost to come out to, because we are estimating a 22-foot wide, and we're not certain that that's achievable in all locations. But for the estimate, we put that in there. Also, I'll just caveat, in one of the items there listed is patching. So it is customary in those repair sections to patch before an overlay, but we may be able to eliminate some of that. And then there is a additional expenditure for steel-beam guardrail. So that item is included, and we feel that that's necessary in the top section of that roadway where there's horizontal alignment that really dictates some need there for improved safety measures. So this is except, so the areas that are repaired by the reimbursable federally declared project. This is not included in this, so those areas will be repaired with guardrail, with hot mix pavement, and they are not included in this estimate.
Uh, First off, thank you for this, and I know that road is in need of some serious work. The things that are listed here kind of match up with the safety grant that we're doing. Is there any possibility of including that in some safety grant, or is this work that needs to be done before we can go through that process?
So by safety grant, SS4A, I mean, so yeah, so this roadway is not included in
I
that.
understand that, yes, sir.
So if we were to try something like that, I think we would have had to identify that early on, and it would have to be in the project selection as an opportunity. Just as a quick reminder, and I know you remember, but there were criteria that those roadway were selected by, a long list of criteria, and primarily that was serious injury and fatality. So that was a key component in that formula.
And this road has been closed for a number of years, so it won't have that kind of data.
And oftentimes, some of the most dangerous looking roads don't have that data really. So
I've got a few questions, I guess. So this figure for this is paving it in addition to the FEMA money that's been allocated. And is that project hitting on budget, or is it going to come in any under budget? Is there any money available for this out of that, or?
So it's definitely under than the preliminary estimates. There's still about, we estimate somewhere north of $100,000 remaining with that project, but we are scheduled to be under budget.
So with that being under budget, with that money that's available there, could that be budgeted toward this?
So no FEMA money can be used toward this. If I'm understanding your question correctly. Now, if we had, and perhaps your question is money that we had set aside.
Money we have set aside for your in-kind services and things like that for that. So the money that we have budgeted set aside for that, can that money go toward our shortfall that we're coming under budget be used toward this?
So, yeah, I think that's probably, I mean, I think so, but I obviously recognize that's a decision that you guys would make, because if I'm remembering correctly, the money that was to be paid out was essentially a reserve and general fund that was set aside for that work in anticipation of the reimbursement.
And do you have, if we were to do something like this, do you have a funding source available to pull any of this money out of to go toward this? And public works, or
No, sir.
this would have to come out of general funds, what you're saying? Or what other source?
Yeah, Jim.
We would have to find just.
But essentially what you're bringing to us here is we've got a $5.8 million project that we're here near completing, and we can't really open this road up without it being paid after expending all that money. So we're kind of in a situation where we have to do this, or something very close to it to make this. I mean, otherwise you're just $5.8 million on a road that's going to be all pieces from cross-train replacement. So.
Any other question?
It's back to what Mr. Scully just said. The red dots indicate where you have already placed cross train.
Yes, we do have a little work remaining, but I wanted to get this going, so it's continuous. The red dots are cross trains that have been completed as recent as last week.
And so in the scope of the work for the FEMA reimbursement, are any of those dots going to be part of the their part of it, or is this stuff they've already finished and we're cross-trained
Yes, the FEMA work is completed.
with,
Yes, except for paving and guardrail. And so as we near that time to bring in the contractor to do that paving and guardrail would be the time and our recommendation on doing this. And that's the reason I'm in front of you. And I should have stated that initially. Thank you.
that makes more sense. All right, so is there a possibility that all of this work can be done at one time?
Yes, and I should have said also, you do not see a mobilization item on this estimate for that reason. If we can anticipating the work to be performed in those locations, if we can move forward with this, we would potentially see some savings. Thank you for asking that.
I think with all the money expended in this road being closed for several years, this is a kind of a unique. This is the last of the slide failure, but we've got 2.1. I think that's what 2.1 miles here, paved, and we're spending all this money. It's I think in a situation where we have to move forward with doing this work or find some money somewhere to look at doing this. It's just one of those situations where things are running above budget or extra work is needed, but with all the money that's expended, you can't have a $5.8 million repair on a road that's not going to be paved. Virtually watch out and slide, watch out from not being paved and all across Laurel.
Where's that? Let me ask a question. Is this price, is that us paving this, or is this contractor paving? And what's the difference if we put it off?
So this price is for the contractor for contract work at county bid process, which would be the same pricing that we would see in the FEMA repair work. So this was presented as contract work for a couple of reasons. One, because they would be there to do the FEMA part, and second, because we feel we are obligated to the paving program that you guys have selected. So, we want to obligate ourselves totally to that, and we've been in motion since those were approved, and that's gonna, that's gonna require a lot of stars to align to get that 15 miles done. That happened here, basically left in this fiscal year.
So one of the things I'd like to ask you to do is look at what the potential for what is left over. We're going to have to go find the money, Margaret. And that is, look at sources, but I suspect that is out of the cash balance. So we're going to have to look at cash flow and cash balance, because we're also dealing with safe streets and roads. Now, I think we're in pretty good shape there on cash balance, because we've got a couple of years worth of this year's and last year's rebuild in Alabama and Federal Aid Exchange to initiate cash flow.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So let's take a look for the next meeting, bring it back to the work session, see if we can identify funds. So I need you to get what you expect to be. What Mr. Gold asked was, is there going to be any money left over in our portion of what we were doing? And if there are, then that will help us identify how much we will need out of cash balance. Everybody okay with that? Okay. And by the way, thanks for bringing this to us, because I think we all agree that road's been closed for seven years now. And our work has been done to fix the slow stuff. The other thing I'll say about the cross-drain work, there's a lot here. But in my view, the cross-drain work that you're doing is going to help prevent further damage to that road in the future, because we're going to have an ability to take care of the runoff on that mountain and get it, so it is not washing. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Next item is construction agreement for County Road 133, 96, and 255.
So hopefully you have a document that looks like the one I'm holding on. And this is based on the last meeting request. It's basic, very basic language. Hopefully this outlines the duties of the contractor, which is identified as CT Cumberland. The duties of the county, which are very few or none, essentially. The terms, and then, essentially the most important, I would offer to you to hold on with an indemnification language that exists at the very last. So this is presented for your review of the language and any adjustments that are needed. We can happily do this.
Any questions about this? As I understand the agreement, they will make some repairs to the road initially during their use. And once they're at complete use of the road, they would then do another improvement to the road.
My understanding, they're going to do a complete overlay on 96 at this time to get it ready. And then and they'll strike 255. And they're going to strike Steam Plant Road, which is not in our purview, but and then make improvements to 133 on a short section there, and repaving a section of that. And then they will be responsible to bring it back after construction to usable. I think it said verbiage is in here to conditions.
Okay.
All this is at their expense. Their
I
contract.
think you've looked at this.
I have. It's acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, and thank you for going through this process, and thank you for coordinating this effort.
And they're anxious to move forward on this. They've got, they told me the other day they got paid approved that they're ready to start on the roads coming off of County Road 255. Bridge inspections already been completed on the bridge on PDA property at the end of County Road 96. And they'll be closing off the entrance on Highway 277 as soon as they can get work progressing on this, and all traffic will come out of the road.
And that's one for the next meeting to approve.
I think so.
Okay. Give her a chance to read and let's just put it on new business for the next meeting. Okay. Now, the last item in our work session is traffic data we requested on County Road 74, 75, and 94.
Thank you, Chairman. Map number 2. It's like the one I'm holding on. This is pursuant to previous discussion from a meeting where we were asked to gather information about alternate routes, leaving a newly functioning quarry in the Bridgeport area. So the front page of this, County Road 572 that's highlighted in black, that's the middle section of the page to the left. That is the intersection of 572 and County Road 74. So at that junction is where we consider there are two options for truck traffic to return to 72 or to enter from 72. And those two options are highlighted in the top in yellow and then the lower in red. So those are County Road 94 and County Road 75, which both lead to 74, which lead to 572 and ultimately to 4. Just a orientation map. And then on the back, it's the same route, same view, just different data and different imagery. So this is an aerial photo, and you can see hopefully the two routes with the same colors leading from 572 or to 572 from 72 via 94 and 75. And 94 is the yellow route. The rectangular boxes indicate rooftops. Circular objects indicate where the traffic counters were placed. And then the data is in yellow. And you will see a ADT that's present for 74 and 94, 8% truck traffic for each route, a number of residents, which are represented by the rectangular shape, and then the bus stops are included. The same is true alternately for the red route to the south, and that's 74, 75. Rectangular indicates the rooftops, and that's rooftops, not residents. So please don't be confused about that. And the ADT, truck percent, and then bus stops are included there. So this is just for visual representation of what's going on with those two routes and the data that was requested in that previous discussion.
I went out and rode, the roads the other day, and I've ridden all the routes up there. County Road 94, just in the few months that the quarry's been open, deteriorated greatly on 94, that little short route from 72 to 74. And of course, at the intersection of 74 and 75, that where they're making turns, there's a large pavement's buckling there, and there's a large hole forming there as well. I've had residents that live on 94 out there. They've come to me several times. They've often come to meetings and stuff. They want to keep trucks off that short road with that curve there where it intersects with 74 and that turn there. So those residents who live on that road, I've had several of them come to me, and they would like to see us post notice through trucks on that. That's what they've come to me with. I don't know what the answer to this is. There's going to be truck traffic. There's a functioning quarry there. There's going to be traffic on all the roads, but 94 has greatly, a lot of the asphalt's almost completely gone on that now since they've been running trucks on. I think we need to do something to try to protect, at least one of the three routes.
Any other comments?
I do have some wonders. I'm seeing, I think that's 572. Is that where it comes out of the quarry?
Yes.
All right, so 572 to go on the yellow route, you've got a pretty sharp left-hand turn there. Is that was safety? Is your turning radius? Is that safe to make that turn?
It's been previously approved. There is a skew to that intersection, but it has been widened, and they are making that turn.
Okay, all right. And so then the same thing would apply there at 74, 75. Is that turn safe to make?
So I would put it in the same category. It has been improved, and they are making the turn, but I wouldn't call either one ideal.
Okay. And is there, I mean, again, I swear still might be ignorance, is there something that a 3-axle truck could make the turn, but a trailer maybe would be a little harder or something? I mean, how is that determined, and would that factor in as far as what's leaving out of there? I don't even know what, I would assume it's dump trucks, but I don't know.
Yeah, so the dump trailers that's the longest truck, and that is the most challenging. And the 74, 75 intersection with the dump trailer, that is a challenge. And when I say a challenge, depending on the approach, whether it be 74 to 75 or 75 to 74, it can't be that truck cannot make that turn and stay in just one lane. So.
Okay. And then the second thing is the thing that freaks me out as a driver who doesn't drive dump trucks but drives these major roads. Are these two entries where 94 meets 72, where 75 meets 72? Are these where it is safe for trucks to pull out, or is this something we need to talk to AlDOT about? Maybe making like a situation like we have at where 69 comes to 72 and those type of situations where they're not allowed to go across all 4 lanes.
Yeah. I don't know of any issues with those locations.
Okay.
And I'll say this too, the quarry has posted signs up, at the end of their property at where traffic is getting on 572, stating all loaded trucks take a right on, 74 and left on 75. So they've posted signage on their property directing truck traffic
To do that.
out, to do that, out that route.
I got you. I too, have driven these roads. I was curious about what this looked like, caught myself over there. 94 is in bad shape, bad shape. I mean, it looks like, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine how heavy that truck was that made that indention, but I mean, it just looks like it was soft clay for a day and the roads just got reformed. This is what it looks like to me. And I had no idea how long it looked like that. I know in the past when I'd ridden that road, it didn't look like that. So I assumed that the trucks going that way had that kind of impact. The final question I have, and again, I know these are public access roads. I mean, is there any burden at all on the company that's loading these trucks to make sure they're within a certain weight limit so that they are safe to travel on the roads?
So yes, I mean, that they must comply with legal load limits. So, that's 41.25 tons that those trucks must weigh when they come out, and they have scales. They're supposed to have certified scales, and I'm certain they do, assuring that those trucks are within tolerance. But this is really complex. I mean, in my opinion, just this issue in general. And the reason I say that is because there are a lot of different businesses and there are a lot of different entities that do the same thing. And the end result is the same. And just for example, there are folks that harvest timber. There are folks that harvest mountain stone. There are folks that quarry stone. So there's all types of commerce that these folks are really relying on the road for their business. And and in theory, their tax that they pay with excise tax on diesel and their severed material tax that they pay for harvesting natural resources, that should take care of the road. I mean, in my opinion. So in most of these cases, I guess I would argue it's the road's fault.
I don't disagree. And so back to something Margaret pointed out. I mean, if we're going to have temporary things like a quarry, which again, I hope they pull rocks out of there for 100 years, but it has a life expectancy. And so in that, we should be able to forecast how much is going to be mined and thus how much we're going to receive. And could that money not be budgeted that way to say we're going to receive this amount of tax dollars, and thus, because I mean, to your point, it is part of the commerce, but I mean, if they're coming in short term, creating a mess, walking away, and we're not good stewards with what we receive, and we can't hold them culpable for it, then what we're going to have at the end of this is just like these poor residents on 94, their roads destroyed because of a business that they don't profit from. And so, like you say, it's complex. I'm not pretending that it's not. I'm just trying to analyze this from lots of ways.
I think in the perfect world that the revenue from the tax would keep up with your business revenue that exists. But as we all know, the taxes that exist are very old and they're fixed. So, as we grow and as things happen in the county, it runs away and leaves the tax on the knee. And this is an example, but there are many throughout the county that are very similar. Other roads come to mind immediately.
And to your point, I don't see this as a dying industry. I think we are rich in natural resources, and that's where it's just the reality of it. And so it's just a matter of when somebody wants to sell their mountainside to have rocks harvested out of it. go from there.
And this might be a question, you may not know the answer to this, but I know every ton of rock that comes out of a quarry, there's a dime mining surcharge tax that goes on that the state charges. So where does that money
It
go?
doesn't come to us. We don't get a penny of that.
That's
We're
so,
not getting after them off the trucks, we have to roll them off the property, we're not getting any money.
You know, each truck that goes in there is paying fuel tax when
I
they fuel
know
the
where-
trucks.
Well,
And,
fuel tax, yes,
and then,
but we're not getting any municipal revenue tax out of this or whatever.
and the severed material tax is minuscule. I mean, it's a small amount.
I say that because I don't see a solution to this looking at other tax bases because we don't get money. I'm looking at this from a safety standpoint. To me, it is, what is the route that is the least safe for trucks to be on? And the other thing is looking at it is road conditions. I don't care which road we put these guys on, running up down all these trucks, we're gonna be doing road work on that. And that's gonna have to be a plan that we're gonna have to deal with as we do our road plan every year. That much traffic, I've sat at that intersection of 75 and 74 one day for about an hour. It was one truck after the other coming out of that quarry. And then the highway traffic that was on it as well. Although you have tried to expand that so there's a little more width to the turning radius, that's gonna have to be worked on. That's what we're gonna use. Stop signs are gonna have to be put in place, and we'll have to get warning signs put in place. Because if you're coming down 75, if you come over that hill, you don't have much of a runway to get to the intersection of 74 and 75. If you're gonna use 94, we're gonna have to repeatedly be fixing that road for these people that live there.
and it's a dangerous turn coming out on the 74.
I don't disagree. It seems to me there's not a real good solution here, but we need to sort of look at it from multiple aspects and look at this. And Jonathan, I would ask if we can look at it from a safety standpoint and a road condition standpoint. And see what, if there's some options that we can get out there. Now, I know at one time, or at least, I don't know, I was told that at one time there was a route that came directly out of the road that goes into the quarry, 572. It came straight across and ran through that property out to 72.
There was a road there when they 4-lane 72.
Is that no longer
It's,
a viable option?
no, I think there's a house built over there right across the road on 572.
I think I think we need to start having look at some options of what we would have to do for safety and for road conditions. With either way we go. My last question: if you turn 74 to the left and headed north, rather than hit 94, what's the distance up to 277? The intersection there.
I'd have to look. I mean, it's not all that far.
And are there a lot of houses up there? Is that a viable route? And make it where they use that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are trucks that they use that now. But it looks like from the direction that the quarry is given their traffic, you know, and these numbers, obviously most of them are going to 75 to hit 72.
Yeah.
See, what the complaints that they're getting is the people that live in 94 are saying the trucks that are coming from Tennessee are cutting through there at the shortcut, and their road is rapidly deteriorated on 94. And you know, I'll give you an example. The quarry has put signage up for everybody to go out 74 to 75 and come out 72, and like even my trucks, that's the way we go. But but that road on 94 has
Yeah.
went to, it's rapidly deteriorating.
It really is. Let's look a little more from. We would take one of these routes, what would be the recommendation of what we would have to do with the route?
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was the last item in work session. If you're not, we'll move to the report from the staff, county administrator, and public comment. Okay, thank you, and welcome.
Thank
All right. County engineer, Jonathan, you got anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Let me ask, Sheriff, any comment?
Oh, yes, thank you. I would like to put on a future meeting, another life-saving award. Deputy Brenda Fawcett was responded to a call first on scene where someone was bleeding severely from an injury, arterial bleed. She was able to utilize her issued tourniquet and stop bleeding, and pretty much was told if she hadn't done that, the person probably wouldn't have made it. So she received some flowers today from the family, and thanks for saving that life. So we'll give her a life-saving award at a future meeting.
Thank you. Bill? Anything? No, anything? This will give everybody a chance here. With that, we'll move to comments from the commission, Commissioner Buckland.
Thank you. First, I'd like to welcome Marty. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to many years you've been with us and straightening us out. We're 5 cantankerous old men, so enjoy that. Well, some of us are older. I wasn't gonna say that. Next, kudos on the election. I was so proud that we had so many candidates running. I really wish we had more, but it was wonderful to see so many people participating in that. Because there's nothing more humbling than to run for public office, and so I think it's something that helps you appreciate how the system works, what all goes into that. So thank you for that. But a big shout out to my fellow commissioners for being through the primary season. I don't want to assume anything on the general election, but I look forward to continuing to work with this side of the table as Mr. McBride and I will hopefully get the chance to run again, but excited that everybody to the left of me is still involved. So thank you for that.
Mr. McBride.
Yes, as always, thank you to all our employees for the hard work, dedication you put into your jobs to make our county a success. Thank you to all the folks who took the time and efforts to apply for our serve on the HR board. It's an unpaid position. And these folks are willing to do that for our county, and we appreciate them. Only can pick one, so too bad there, but we hope to get an opportunity to work with those others as well. But y'all just stay safe, and hope to see you next meeting.
Mr. Bell.
I'd like to start by welcoming Margaret aboard. I had the opportunity to sit on that interview committee, and Margaret interviewed very well. Very pleased to have her on the team now. I think she's highly qualified and will do an outstanding job. I'd like to thank the employees of the county for all the hard work and dedication that they put in. We couldn't do what we do without the hard work and dedication of all the employees, because they're the ones that put in the hard work and make all of us look good each and every day. As far as election goes, I'd like to thank everybody for allowing me to be reelected to serve another term, and thank the Lord that I don't have to do this for 4 more weeks. Had a good vote turnout for that on my side, and I'd like to congratulate Bill on being reelected, and I look forward to serving with all you guys for another 4 years. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to say thanks to folks who worked the polls election day. We went through several days of training. I know I'll use the term mayor skipper was working the pole at Skyline, and a lot of folks who are county employees this time around were working the poles because it's getting more and more difficult. Just put it out there to find volunteers to work poles. But Judge Manning and folks did a great job of getting folks that are willing and getting them to do that job, and they did a great job for us. And so we have to say thank you to everybody that showed up 6 o'clock that morning to get to the polls, make sure they were ready and stay there until beyond 7 o'clock to finish up their work. Do not forget the runoff that we're going to have on June the 16th. We have some good candidates still in the process of going through elections, and we had a low turnout this last election, so the turnout for June 16th is going to be really important, not just for our local folks that are continuing to run, but for the state offices that are in the runoff as well. There is another board position that is coming up towards the end of June, I believe, and that is the EDA, our position there. We have one position that is a full-term position with our Economic Development Authority board. And so we will be getting a notice out here within about a week for that open position and to get applicants in. So for everybody out there that would like to serve, please consider doing that and making an application for that. With that, our next meeting is June the 8th. We'll be here in this location at 5 o'clock. And so do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Next year, are we all?
Yeah.